cleaned up, but it's much better to do those after a win. So I'll go ahead and take your questions. I do want to say one thing. Like, I just want to make sure, like, man, our one of the things that we were thinking about really throughout the game was Dean Pease. I know, I'm sure you guys all heard about it. I think he made it back to the stadium here, but just wanted to make sure that Falcons and he and his family knew that we were thinking about him.
Dennis, it's come up a lot in recent weeks, but really the whole season. Have you been really frustrated, maddening, the need to be able to impose your will and get those 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s, a 4-minute drive? I mean, has that been one of the biggest things you guys have wrestled with this season, do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think putting a team away when you have an opportunity to put them away, you have to be able to take advantage of that, and yeah, that it is frustrating because you do a lot of good things in the game, and then you have opportunities to put them away, and you're not able to do it. Look, we didn't finish that last drive of the game like we wanted to, but yet we took it down to 9 seconds to go with no timeouts, and so it wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but it was fairly close, and I felt like that 3rd down play, I was hoping that we were going to get a measurement on that.
Coach, on the challenge flag, did you even have to consult with coaches upstairs, or did you know immediately on the touchdown?
No, I wanted to make sure that our guys upstairs felt like it was a touchdown, and they felt confident that it was, and so we threw the challenge flag there, and it was a good challenge, good win. Our guys upstairs did a good job there.
Dennis, it seems like at times you guys have had a hard time just like buying a turnover to get one in that really.
How about a huge one in a critical moment in a game?
Big moment of the game right there. Like,
yeah.
What would you see on that play and for it to come at that time?
Well, look, I think it was Roby that came over the top and top down punch out. We talk about it all the time in our building that that's how the ball comes out in our league. I thought he did a great job of punching the ball out, and I believe it was Marcus May that was there to recover it. So, look, it was a huge play in the game.
Evans was credited with the punch and Roby with the recovery.
All right, I knew it was something like that, but I knew it was 2 DBs back there. Yeah, appreciate it.
Coach, I know you're a defensive guy, but you've given up, the team has given up 200 yards against Atlanta both times, but yet y'all have won the game. What do you have to do as a coach to be able to put together a plan to stop this running game?
Listen, we need a win. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing we all talk about running the ball. Look, I don't think we tackled as good as we needed to today. Okay? But what they have, 80-something yards passing? So it's not about, do you stop the run? Do you stop the pass? Do you do this? Do you do that? It's do you win? And that's what we did today. And so their plan was to come in and run it, not try to put the young quarterback in difficult situations. And look, the runner, Algier, like I was impressed with him today. He's a tough physical runner. But we did what we needed to do defensively to win the game.
He's done it all year consistently, but Juwan Johnson, another good game. Just describe, his season and his improvement out there.
Yeah, look, he's improved a lot. I mean, he works tirelessly to improve himself and improve his game, and it's good to see when guys work the way that he works, and give the type of effort that he gives. It's good to see, him being able to kind of reap the fruits of that labor, and so that's part of what you enjoy about coaching.
Dennis, you drive and you got a 11-point lead, you fumble. I mean, as a coach, is that stuff like that just drive you haywire?
Yeah, well, that's part of what we just talked about when you have a chance to kind of, put a team away. I think, what was it, 14-3 at that point in time. We have a chance to potentially go up, 21-3 at that point in the game. So yeah, I mean, we have to protect the ball better in those situations, certainly.
Dennis, was the Taysom Hill TD pass to Shaheed, was that first read on that play, and was that one you drew up and wanted to get to early in this game this week for any particular reason?
There's some things that you do, and what you don't know is exactly when Taysom gets lined up at the quarterback position. You don't know exactly what you're going to see every time. So we got the look that we were looking for. And look, I think Shaheed ran a great route. Like, his speed is impressive. And look, Taysom did a great job of putting the ball in the right spot, just over the top of the safety. We got the look we were looking for, and our guys executed. And that's really, that's what, good football is really all about. It was a good play call, right? But the execution's what made it work, and that was good to see.
Were you surprised that all the Alontae Taylor interception was overturned?
No, I wasn't. After I saw it on the big screen, I guess I wasn't sure if he caught it in real life, and then I saw it in the big screen, and I just didn't know if there was going to be enough to overturn it. Yeah, that's tough on that kid because, he keeps making these plays, and yet he's not getting credit for making these plays, but he's playing outstanding. He's playing outstanding.
Hey, Dennis, what's the mood like in the locker room after getting a win and just kind of getting off the schneid here, end of the season, putting it
good.
together here?
Yeah, look, it's hard to win in this league. And so anytime you get one, it's a good feeling. And we're going to enjoy this. We've got about 24 hours to kind of soak it in a little bit. And then, we got a short week to get ready to go up to Cleveland. So, it was a good win. Our guys deserve a lot of credit for battling the way that they battled all year long. And they came out ready to play today, and we made enough plays to win.
Coach, back to Alontae Taylor. Can you speak a little more to his preparation and to his performance in terms of how he anticipates, how he breaks on the ball, et cetera?
Yeah, look, he shows up every day with his hard hat on, ready to go to work. And he listens to his coaches, and he tries to do it exactly the way that he's being coached to do it. And he works extremely hard on studying the opponent and knowing kind of the things to anticipate. And so, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for guys that want to be coached. They want to do it the right way. They want to play hard. They want to work hard. And he does that, and it's not a surprise that he's able to go out and execute on Sundays because he puts in the preparation.
Yeah, last week when we asked you about the film, the first thing you said was the guys played hard, and that was the main thing that stood out. How important is it just to see that still, in this situation, this game, and then your backs get against the wall and guys just keep fighting and trying to find ways to win?
So I would tell you this. I would say that playing hard doesn't guarantee that you're going to win, but not playing hard guarantees that you won't win. And that's really that's what this game's about, man. This game's about freaking effort and passion and energy and going out and giving everything you got. And so I never questioned whether our guys were going to do that or not. They've done it all year long. So and I think they did it again today.
Dennis, Alvin the last few weeks has been, limited in his involvement. Was there kind of a concerted effort to get him touches today?
Yeah, and touches in a few different ways. And I think we got to continue to try to figure out creative ways to, get him the ball and do some things with him and, let him affect the game. All right, appreciate it.
Welcome back into our Saints post-game show. I'm Aaron Summers, joined by former Saints linebacker Scott Shanley. Break down this Saints win at 21-18 over the Atlanta Falcons. They get the sweep over Atlanta, and they keep their playoff hopes alive. Overall, just main takeaways from this one.
Well, first of all, it's Falcons week, so it doesn't take much to get up for Falcons week. Even though the season hasn't gone the way you want it to go, you have an opportunity to play against your rival and to kind of set that mark going into the offseason, into the draft, into free agency. So it was a big game, and I'm sure the players had no problem getting up for today's game. But there were frustrating things throughout the game. You came away with the win. That's the number one objective every single week. But I know as a player, you always want to play perfect. You're always chasing that perfect game. It doesn't exist. You're going to try to do it every week, but you came away with the win, but you still think about the missed opportunities, the takeaways you could have had, the turnovers you had yourself. But there were positive signs in this game as well.
Head coach Dennis Allen, just speaking to the media moments ago, he said, bottom line is we got the win. Yes, there are some things that we want to clean up. We'll address those over the next few days before we turn our focus forward to Cleveland. Speaking of the positives, there was so much diversity of offense. Taysom Hill was in at quarterback, Andy Dalton. Both were very efficient in their time at behind center, and they were distributing the ball all over the place. Rashid Shaheed got into the action. Alvin Kamara goes over 100 yards of scrimmage for the first time in a while. How did that lead to the success today?
Well, they started the game off fast. I think anytime you have explosive plays in your offense, and you saw Taysom Hill coming in at quarterback, and we're so used to seeing him run the ball, and I'm sure the Falcons thought the same thing. He gets back there in the shotgun. Rashid Shaheed, with his speed on the outside, runs past the secondary, and that's just taking advantage of the looks you're getting on defense and making those plays. That's been the frustrating thing so many times this year is those plays have existed, you just haven't made them. They made those explosive plays early in the game, and that gets the entire team going. When you get up 7-0, 14-0 in a game, now you can be more aggressive on defense. So those aggressive plays feed off throughout the rest of your entire team.
Fans have been clamoring for more of wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, and they got it today. The 68-yard touchdown, it was 33-yard pass, 35 yards after the catch. That's the longest play from scrimmage the Saints have had all season, and the biggest play that the Falcons defense has given up this year. So there were some great moments in this ball game. I think leading up to the halftime, there was the fumble by the Saints in the red zone.
Yeah.
They were almost about to score again, and what it looked like really kind of put things away.
Yeah.
And then you have that fumble by David Johnson, and it kind of felt like momentum shifted a little bit there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It kind of took the air out of the sails a little bit because it was really one of those plays where you missed a couple opportunities to take the ball away, but if you go down the field and you're driving and you're owning the game and you go up 20, you put 21 points on the board, now Atlanta has to throw the ball a ton with a rookie quarterback. So that was really a costly turnover in the game and probably changed the projection of the rest of the game because now Atlanta didn't have to just draw back and throw every single time with a rookie quarterback, and it really helped them out. Otherwise, I think this game probably would have ended up a little more lopsided.
As the game went on in the second half, Falcons started getting on the board, getting into the end zone. It looked like Desmond Ridder, their rookie quarterback, settled in a little bit as the game went on, and it got close. This one came down to the wire.
Yeah.
What were some of the decisions towards the end of the game that allowed the Saints to come out on top?
Well, it wouldn't be a Saints game if it wasn't dramatic at the end and come down to the wire. We've seen plenty of those this year, but I think you look at the not getting the ball, taking the ball away when you have those opportunities. And nobody's trying to drop an interception, but those are the plays that if you get those in your hands and take advantage of those takeaways, you don't turn the ball over yourself, you're looking at being up 21, 28 points in a game. And just by pure NFL statistics, it says if you're +2, +3 in takeaway margin, you're going to win 95% of NFL games. So those plays that you didn't make really led to this game being a game late. And Atlanta took advantage. They have a lot of really good young players, and they're getting an opportunity to look at Desmond Ridder. They drafted him in the third round out of Cincinnati. They have a month to say, are you our franchise quarterback? And he did some things today that made you say, maybe he can be the starting quarterback in the NFL. Not enough drop back passing and precision in the passing game, but the game speeds up rapidly when you're playing against a defense like the Saints.
Let's talk about the Saints defense and those possible takeaways. Quarterback Alante Taylor has done really well this season. As just a rookie, he had a couple games where he was in and out due to injury. He's had so many close moments where he's almost had that interception, and then twice now, today included, the refs kind of took one away from him.
Yeah.
As a player, I mean, how much does that affect you?
Oh, it's frustrating. It really is. I felt for him. He's going to go back and he's going to think this was a game I could have had 3 interceptions. The first 2 were tough. I mean, he's going to, as a player though, as a competitor, you're going to think I should have had that. But the one along the sideline, you feel like that one gets taken away from you, and no one will remember it because years from now, you'll go back in the box score and the stats, and it doesn't show up. So as a player, you always remember. Heck, I remember a sack that it didn't count. I Michael Vick in Atlanta. We had a personal foul in the secondary, and I'm like, I sacked Michael Vick, but there's no history of it. I got to bring up the video to show it. So as a player, you'll always remember that. But Alontae Taylor has been playing phenomenal football. Missing a guy like Marshawn Lattimore this year, and just the injuries in general in the secondary, I don't think anybody in this organization thought that you would have to have Alontae Taylor as a rookie play as much as he has, and he's been outstanding all year.
It's the second rookie that the Saints have had step in early in the season, because Paulson Adebo did it last year and really just had instant success. It's going to be interesting to see what those two players are able to do in years to come.
Oh, absolutely. I think if there's one position group that you're excited about on the Saints team is the secondary, because of the youth they have, the type of players they have. They're the length, they're tall, they're long, they can get in big receivers' faces, but they're also athletic enough to run with the fast skill guys across the league. So I think the Saints have done a really good job at drafting the secondary, and Saints fans should be optimistic about that position.
The one takeaway that they were able to get came late in the game, about 2 minutes left to go in this one, much needed as the Falcons were charging down the field looking to take the lead for the first time in this ball game. But it was a forced fumble. Bradley Roby ended up catching the ball out of the air, and that's really what kind of sealed this win for the Saints.
Yeah, takeaways. Every week you hear the coaches, and almost you get tired of hearing about it. But really, we used to have a stat and a chart that showed if you're +1 in takeaways, you're going to be 88% win chance. If you're +2, you're in the 90% chances of winning. So turnover takeaway margin matters every single week in professional football. Those are the plays. We talked about the fumble earlier in the game that probably led to the game being close throughout. But that play at the end, when you needed it the most, that was a play you needed to keep them out of field goal range because they have an exceptional kicker. They could have got back in this game, and the defense made the play when they had to.
Yeah, that turnover was at 2:13 left on the clock, so not a lot of time left, but it was at 21-18 at that time. So if the Falcons would have been able to get down into the field goal range and get some points there, then this thing could have been continuing to go. We're going to take a listen into quarterback Andy Dalton now, who is in the press room and at the podium.
The play Juwan Johnson today, especially the two touchdown throws you had, and it seems like he's kind of emerged as a guy for you in big-time situations.
Yeah, there's definitely a comfort level there. You know, Juwan has done a lot of really good things. And, I mean, both touchdowns were good run after catch, plays by him. And so I feel like he's playing with a ton of confidence, and it's showing up on Sundays.
I know, look, you're still alive for a playoff berth. The odds are against you. But just the fact that this team, came out after a bye, showed tremendous fight, what does it say, I guess, about you and some of the veterans on this team that, I guess, the effort and energy was there?
Yeah, I think there's something to finish the season strong regardless of making the playoffs or not. And so, we had 4 left before today. We got one win today, and we got 3 more to go. And so our mindset and our goal is to finish the season the right way and to win the next 3.
Andy, following up on that, does that say something about Dennis, that there is that kind of fight in the team? I mean, I know the results haven't always been there, but certainly the effort certainly seems like it has been.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's one thing that it's, just from the top of, his message to us is, exactly that. Finish the season the right way. We want to go, again, before today, let's go 4-0. And after the game, it's, all right, there's 1. We got 3 more left.
Andy, what are some of the things that stand out about just the young core of weapons you guys have with Olave, Rashid, and Juwan Johnson?
Yeah, I think, like I was saying about Juwan, is he's playing with a ton of confidence, but I think we have a lot of guys that are playing with a ton of confidence. And it is a young group out there. And, I mean, it's exciting because each week we feel like they're getting better. They're able to do some new things and some explosive plays out there. I mean, I've talked about Juwan, but I mean, Rashid has shown up a ton too with, his long touchdown today from Taysom. I mean, that's, we've got some weapons.
How was he around Rashid? Just kind of as a route runner just over time?
Yeah, I think he's gotten comfortable when we've been asking him to do a little bit more. And he's been playing, obviously, a lot more than he was early on. And when he's got his opportunities, he's made the most of them.
How comfortable are you with, I know this has been happening for the last few games, really, but with the Taysom switching in, switching out, or do you guys practice that every week? I mean, is that something that you guys are pretty much comfortable with despite whatever defensive scheme comes at you?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely practice it. So, Taysom's a big weapon for us, and you don't know where he's going to line up. So, I think we're comfortable with how we've been handling this year.
Just going back to Rashid a little bit, obviously you didn't throw the bomb to him today, but you've hit him on deep balls in the past. What does he do specifically that makes him so effective on those type of plays?
He runs really fast. I think that, that's one thing that we knew from the beginning when he got here and when he started to run around. You could see his speed, and we've had opportunities to take some deep shots with him, and he's come down with a lot of them.
What difference is just having Eric back to like you guys have in practice?
Yeah, I mean, just to have the full group out there, I mean, there's a comfort level there from the standpoint of the communication with everything, guys being on the same page, and Eric's obviously a great player, and for the quarterback, just the communication with the center's key and big, and so glad to have Eric back.
Thanks. Just curious, at the end of these games, when they get close and the game seemingly on the line in a lot of ways, what just impresses you most about how the team responds in those situations?
Yeah, I thought we responded well today. It's not always pretty. It's not always easy. It felt like when we jumped out to the early lead, we had chances, and I mean, we left a lot of plays out there, and we had opportunities to make that game look a little different and not have to go down to the very end. But the good thing is we had an opportunity to win it, and we took care of business, and we did that. Thanks, guys.
Juwan, Andy kind of talked about the comfort level that you guys have, especially when you get in or near the red zone. Just kind of how do you feel that comfort when he's thrown to you in those moments?
That's a good question. I've been drawing a lot of blanks on a lot of questions, but it's been good. Definitely, going into the red zone, knowing that it's attack mode for us. That's kind of like our attack mode. We've been pretty good for the past couple of years in the red zone, and we know we get to the red zone, that means points. So, our offensive coordinator, Pete's been really good with dialing up a lot of good plays in the red zone. So when you got guys like, me, Chris, she, Jarvis, Trout, we got a lot of people who can get the ball, and Alvin, who really can put the ball in the end zone. So just the comfort level that Andy has with me is pretty comforting, just knowing that, in any given time I could, be in the end zone making a play.
What about your approach specifically in that area of the field that do you think makes you so successful? You already got 7 touchdowns, just as many as Justin Jefferson. I mean, like you're really putting up some good numbers down there.
Man, it's just really just hard work and watching the film and going over the plays. Just try to see what coverages they're running. It's not more so like the physical aspect. It's just knowing what they're going to do, just kind of being 2 steps ahead of what they're going to be doing. And the physical aspect is kind of secondary. So, just knowing where they're going to be, knowing how they're going to play it, it's just all like, all right, I know this is going to happen. Before the play, I pointed at him because I knew he was going to, collision me on the second touchdown, collision me and get out. So it's just all knowing about what's going to happen before the play even happens.
Juwan, could you talk about your first touchdown? One that you scored stretched out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a simple shallow cross. I was bumping, their end, and they kind of just got out. I'm sure it was a busted coverage, but, nobody covered me, and as they say, I just tried to get freaky. So I try to do my thing. It's not too many times where I'm in the open field, so, I just try to get into the end zone.
What's been the biggest thing you've learned that's made you successful at tight end this season?
Can you say that one more time? Sorry.
the biggest lesson you've learned to be successful at tight end?
Oh man, you gotta have an attitude. To play this position, you can't be soft at all. I mean, you're going up against some pretty good guys, and then from the secondary position, you're playing against some pretty elite and athletic guys from the defensive side. So you really just got to have an attitude that you just can't be stopped. And that's really why I try to get into. It's not really hard. It's just like you just got to be mad at them. So if I just think of it as my enemy, that's really how I try to approach it. But ultimately, just having an attitude and be willing to learn, because obviously this is like my second year in this position. So just being coachable. I still don't know anything. I'm not saying I don't know anything, but it's still a very tough position. You have to be really smart to play this position.
Kind of along those same lines, can you speak to your approach to the game from a confidence standpoint and a production standpoint?
Just from a confidence standpoint, a lot of the times at this position, knowing that I'm still growing in this position, there's going to be a lot of failures. So a lot of times I may get pushed back. There may be, my eyes may be in the wrong place. Maybe dropping a couple passes, I'm overthinking it. Maybe dropping a couple passes because I'm just not focusing. There's a lot of different things we got to look at this position. Just coverage, blocking, it's a whole bunch. But the one thing is just having guys around you like Trout, Taysom, who's been around the game for a while, them giving you comfort, and just doing your thing. Having your physical aspects helps, like me being able to catch and run and do things like that and be aggressive, but having those guys around you at the comfort level is also pretty good.
Hey, Juwan, do guys like you and Rashid who were undrafted, do y'all play with a chip on your shoulder just because of that?
Rashid, do we play with a chip on our shoulder? Yeah. Just knowing that, you've been overlooked through the whole draft kind of just gives you that extra boost, that extra little, okay, like every team passed up on me, you went to, UDFA. So definitely just playing with that, knowing that you just got to get it out the mud. You got to really grind for it. And so Sheed is like the biggest culprit for that because, nobody looked at him as a top receiver. Nobody looked at him as like that. But he's proven himself. Every week he's proven himself. He hasn't surprised me, but he surprised a lot of you guys. So just having him to go in and week out and do his thing.
Yeah, Juwan, I don't even have a question for this. I just want to say this stat out loud. You have 48 career catches. 11 of them have been for touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
At what point is this just like, okay, this is my part of the field. I'm going to own this part of the field.
Well, I try to own the whole field. I mean, that's just me. I don't know if that was your answer or not. Was it? Oh, okay. But I mean, every time when I try to go out on the field, I mean, I just try to. I'm just in attack mode, and early when we get to the red zone, I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. This got to be for 6. Whereas for anybody, I mean, that's just like our mindset, and our mindset's got to be because, if you score touchdowns in the red zone, you're going pretty far in the season. You're going pretty far in the playoff race. So just being really efficient in the red zone, something that we kind of harp on a lot. So we do red zone on Fridays, and Fridays are the big days.
Juwan, there's a lot of rivalries in college. In high school we hear about them.
Right.
Are you aware of the rivalry with the Falcons, and do guys in the locker room feel that at all?
It's more so the older guys. I knew it more so when Drew was here my first year, and you kind of felt it in practice. And so that carryover is kind of something that we've been trying to embody, knowing that there is that rivalry, knowing that there is hatred there. And so just going out there and knowing that we have 2 up on them this year, it's kind of what we wanted to do, to put that stamp on it that, we the big brothers. And so that's how we got to keep going about it.
Juwan, you guys kind of got this young core weapons with you, Rashid, and Chris. How do you guys complement one another, and what do you feel like the ceiling is for that trio of players?
Yeah. Well, they compliment me because they're a lot faster than me. Rashid and Chris are a lot faster than me, and I'm more so of like, not the slow guy, but I'm just not quite as fast. So those guys stretch the field pretty well, and not even that, they run pretty good routes too. So, just knowing that you have those two who are very versatile in their route tree and also very versatile in knowledge of the game is really impressive. It helps me out a lot because, those guys can teach me a couple things. So just talking to Chris during the week, just telling me about some of the spacing and stuff, I'm like, dang, like I didn't even understand the route tree like that, but here you go telling me what's going on. But yeah, it's been really good having those two, knowing that the guys are both rookies. you're gonna get the league. You're gonna get the league some for years to come. Yeah. Appreciate y'all.
Take it easy on me, guys. My first time in front of this many cameras, so yeah, take it easy on me.
How does it make you feel, and what do you have to say when the head coach says that your speed is impressive?
It means the world for coming from him. You know, it's a guy I look up to, and you know, a guy I love playing for. So that means the world, absolutely.
Hey, Rashid, obviously there's positive news with Dean Pease being back with the team, but I was wondering if you could just kind of explain or talk about a little bit about what happened before the game.
Right. So I was backing up to catch a punt, and you know, I kind of just ran into him, bumped into him, turned around, and I just saw him kind of stretched out. So I was super concerned, but we got word that, you know, he's back, and took him to the hospital, and he's healthy and he's doing okay. So I'm thankful for that. I'm glad he's doing okay. You know, if he sees this, you know, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Rashid, if I remember correctly, you've not formally run a 40-yard dash. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
How fast do you think you got today? How fast are you? Where would you be if you got the opportunity?
I don't know. Hopefully anything, you know, 4.3 and below. I feel like that's, you know, pretty fast. So somewhere around there, hopefully.
Rashid, tough loss a week ago, and Coach Allen was just in here talking about playing with passion. What does it say about this team? You played with so much passion. You played hard after a loss like that last week.
Right, absolutely. It was exactly how we needed to come out and play. We preached it all week, you know, come out with energy. We can't let them match our energy, and I feel like we came out, got on them early, and you know, that kind of carried on throughout the game, and that was definitely a good way to start.
Can you just describe the touchdown play, how it all developed? Did you know you're getting the ball based off that look right at the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, so at the line of scrimmage, it was kind of like a kill-kill situation, depending on how the safeties were going to play it. As soon as I lined and I saw one high safety, I knew that, you know, he was gonna throw it. I just had to, you know, win on my route, and you know, it happened. Chased him through a great ball, and I was able to finish it. So.
Where do you feel like you've made the biggest areas of growth in just your route running and understanding of the offense and all that stuff?
Yeah, I feel like I made a tremendous jump. At first, early on, it was, you know, kind of tough. You know, young guy coming in and learning a complex playbook. But you know, I trusted the guys around me. They all helped me. Coaches helped me develop. You know, coming off of a knee injury, it was kind of tough. You know, to just feel the game the same way. But you know, it's all coming along pretty well. So.
Where do you feel like you're at, like in the playbook, total comfort? Like, are you 100% there? Or is it still kind of?
Oh yeah, no, I'm good now. Thankfully, yeah.
Can you speak to your mindset when you're running routes and the mindset you shift to when you're returning punts?
Right. When I'm running routes, it's always to win. You know, just compete against the guy across me, and you know, as long as I beat him, you know, to just do my job. And you know, on punt returns, just rely on the other 10 guys blocking for me. I have full faith in them, and they do a great job each and every week in preparation. And we're going to continue to go in the right direction with that.
Rashid, I'm just curious to know what you're thinking about when you're going into one of those shot plays where you see that they have a single high safety and you know the ball is about to cut.
Yeah. Eyes get big, heart starts racing fast. You know, you just know it's coming to you. So you get super excited, super antsy. You know, you got to keep your eye on the ball so you don't jump because you're so excited. So. Yeah.
But I mean, you're anticipating making a big play on those, and they've had you run a handful of those this year. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I just try to do my job, run my routes, and win. And anytime the opportunity comes, I try to make a play.
That was literally my exact same question. When you see that look, like, do you think, are you confident enough now at this point where you think, all right, this is going to be a touchdown? I can win this look, and is that something that's sort of developed this year that's come as the season's went on?
Right. I feel like I always come in the game with confidence, and I feel like you got to, you know, always, you know, just focusing on your 111 and doing your job, and as long as you do that, I feel like success is going to happen. And you know, it turned out to be that play, and you know, I just, like I said, I did my job, and it was open. So.
How good was that ball?
Perfect. It was perfect. Right over the DB's hand. Couldn't have been better.
I know you all are still alive for a playoff berth, even with the odds against you. How important is it? We talk about the veteran players, but there's young players like you and Olave and Alante Taylor and, you know, other young guys about like maybe planting the seeds and finishing strong to make sure that it can grow into something in the future.
Right, absolutely. Like you just reiterated, finishing strong. That's what we got to do throughout these last 4 games. Continue to come out how we did today, play with passion, play with energy, and practice hard. It all starts at practice each and every day. Our work days. So we got to come in, fix some stuff. Today wasn't perfect. We'll go back and chalk it up and let's see what we can do better.
Yeah, Rashid, sorry to keep asking a question about that one play, but I'm curious, when Taysom's in there kind of running that play, can you kind of sense that the defenders are kind of peeking in, kind of just waiting to see, oh no, he's going to pull this?
Yeah, absolutely. When Taysom's in the backfield, all eyes are on Taysom. They got to be, that's just the player he is. And I feel like Pete did a great job, realizing that. And, when the play was called, it was the look exactly. So it worked out great.
How do you feel like you and Chris kind of complement one another, and then just being rookies coming in at the same time? What's that camaraderie like, just in that room with you guys?
Yeah, it's tons of fun. Two guys from the same city doing big things on Sunday. It's like a dream. And I've known him for a long time. We had a great relationship, and he's a great dude. It's fun to play alongside of him. Two fast guys. It's hard to coach speed, so it's hard. It's fun to definitely have a guy like him across from me.
Hey, Rashid, are you getting a little bit more comfortable? I saw you celebrate a little bit more after this touchdown.
What was that? Sorry, one more time.
So are you getting a little bit more comfortable with your touchdown celebrations?
I actually didn't I kind of froze up down there a little bit. Yeah, I don't know what was going through my head, but I didn't have any celebration. Kind of just enjoying the moment.
So it seems like all of your touchdowns are longer than 40 or 44 yards or longer this year. Just in light of what you know about the offense, is that surprising to you, based on your skill set in the offense, that they would all be that long, or is that something that sort of makes sense?
It just kind of makes sense. Any chance I get to make a play, whether it's down the field, short, fly sweep, in any elements of the game, I try to make a play, and just being put in the situations to make those plays, it means a lot for the coaches to have trust in me and my teammates. So appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Well done.
I'm in the right business so I can wear it and not look like I'm showing it off all the time.
We just heard from several Saints players after this 21-18 win over the Atlanta Falcons. Everybody in good moods after getting another victory. Stopped the 2-game losing streak that they were on and get them back in the win column, keeping the playoff hopes alive, and beating a division rival never hurts. Scott, give you your final thoughts, just takeaways from this game, and then maybe as we look ahead to what's next, the last 3 games for the Saints.
Yeah, I think as a player, and I'm sure these guys are talking about it too, there's a mathematical chance you're still in the playoffs, but I don't think this team is probably thinking about that, because when you need other people to help you and it's out of your control, you're worried about what you can control.
Sure.
And what you can control is your availability every week, your accountability to your teammates, your performance. Listen, as a professional football player, I always laugh when I hear about people talk about tanking and draft picks and this and that, because every day you're updating your resume as a football player. And I'm sure these guys, their competitive spirit, their pride, won't let them go out there and put anything but their best on the field. There's going to be guys coming back on the field in the last 3 games that have missed some time. You're going to see this team get back to as healthy as they've been all year. And for instance, today was the first time the starting offensive line played all together since November 7th.
Mm-hmm.
And you see what this team can be when they're healthy. Unfortunately, way too many injuries this year, but I think this team has a chance to really finish the season strong.
And it's definitely good to finish the season out on a high note, regardless of what happens with the playoffs and if they make it in or not. You don't want to end a season on a sour note. And so getting this win after the bye, definitely good. Hopefully they can continue that momentum as we play Cleveland on Saturday. It's going to be a cold one, definitely going to be different atmosphere, but it should be a lot of fun. Scott, thank you for joining me on the post-game show. Again, we're here celebrating a win. You can see all of the players and their families around us. Feels good to be a Saints fan today. Thanks for joining us on the Saints post-game show.